it hard to do things like reading, shopping, or cooking. Well, February is Low Vision Awareness Month, and joining us now is Dr. Ogachika Alozi of Sunset West to talk about Low Vision Awareness Month. So let's get straight into it.
Let's do it.
Now, we do have some alarming, I should say, maybe statistics or a rise of adults, I should say, with chronic diseases such as diabetes. Can you talk to us about low vision?
Absolutely. So I think the first thing to sort of think about is that over the years, right, we've talked about hypertension, diabetes, and a host of things that affect your heart, your kidneys, other organs. Your eye is an organ that's affected by that. And so when we talk about low vision specifically, it's not if you wear glasses, it's not if you've had LASIK, it's not if you take medications or wear contact lenses, exactly, right? It's people that their vision cannot improve with that. Typically above the age of 65, there's a host of different types. We'll talk about a specific one coming up. And it also happens in younger people, usually people that have autoimmune conditions. But again, I think the key here is get to somebody that can help you maximize your vision over the long term.
Okay, doctor, so can you talk to us about AMD and the number of people affected by the different types?
Absolutely. So AMD means age-related macular degeneration. Again, we talked about age. You can't fix age, right? It happens in people that are above the age of 50 on average. It's about 200 million people that have it across the world. You know, it's one of those remarkable things. Usually when we talk about healthcare, we talk about men over women. Okay. In this case, women have it more than men, right? So my mom has had it. I've had aunties and uncles that have had it. And again, there's two types of age-related macular degeneration. There's the wet and there's the dry. I don't think that's the key. The key is get care. Okay,
the key is to get care. So what about those that, I don't want to say, maybe we should talk about medication, maybe some treatment options?
Absolutely. So I think one of the things about age-related macular degeneration is that it can affect your life, right? So majority of people above the age of 50 take 5 to 6 medications on their own. Okay. And if you can't see your medications, you then can't manage your medications. The numbers are the numbers. I think the long and short here is that there's a lot of people, right? I think that's the key. But again, it has an effect on your life that's not just a question of 7 million here, 5 million there, but it's you, that one person whose eyes aren't working.
Okay, but what about the primary factors? And yeah, primary factors.
Absolutely. So if you look at all of these things, I always like to focus on what can you change in your life. If you look at both the primary risk factors and what to safeguard to change your eye risk, it's smoking. If you smoke, stop. There's a lot of data that shows even within 90 days of smoking, you start to reduce your risk of heart disease, eye disease, lung disease. The other thing, bottom right, is get regular dilated retinal exams, and we'll give some resources at the end.
What about early symptoms?
So this is where it kind of gets scary, and it's also a question of stubbornness, right? We live in a culture, I live in a culture that people don't like to go see the doctor just because. Unless something hits them like a hammer or a sledgehammer over their head, they're not going. But if you know that you're starting to have some blurriness even with your glasses, you're looking at a TV screen like somebody that might be looking at us right now, and the colors are changing, right? You're having difficulty recognizing loved ones. That's a critical key that you need to go and get some help.
You need to understand your body so that you can be aware of those signs and symptoms. What about resources? If we need to get help or we have a family member that needs to get help, how can they do that?
Yeah, so I prioritize this over everything else. If you identify symptoms that are concerning, we have a host of resources, whether it's El Paso Optical Center, Vision Source, Just See for Kids. But again, the key is this. Get an eye exam at least once a year. You may need it twice a year. Allow your ophthalmologist and optometrist to help you manage this. It's fixable, it's manageable, and I think those are resources that we can have in our community and people should be able to see.
Yeah, fair enough.
I got my glasses. So.
I had LASIK, that's why he called me out. Thank you so much for joining us.
Appreciate you.
We'll still ahead on ABC-7 at